So today we're at the Finney Ridge Neighborhood Center, backstage, green room if you will, it's a good place and I love it, with Roy Zimmerman, satirist, musician extraordinaire. How you doing, Roy?
I'm doing good. I like that intro.
Oh, thanks.
Okay,
Thanks. You excited for tonight's show?
I am.
I am too. So a couple quick questions for you. Who's your biggest musical influence?
Well, there are so many. I mean, Tom Lehrer comes right to mind, of course, in terms of satire and funny songs and all that then too.
Sure.
But Pete Seeger, Phil Oakes, Paul Simon, and, I would be remiss not to say the Beatles. That's all I did.
And of course, that will come up later.
Once again, thank you for being here, and thanks to the Seattle Folklore Society. Hope we've answered all your questions. But for me, there's one question that remains unanswered, and that's, what if Elvis was Jewish? Oh, and that other question, the question that goes, what if the Beatles were Irish? Picture yourself in a boat on a river with tangerine trees and marmalade skies. Suddenly someone appears that turns out like Orica lands go by. Silicon flowers of yellow and green towering over your head. I look for the go with the sun and her and she's gone. I never see it.
Air. I like to breathe air, for instance, and yeah, exactly.
So you consume fluids, I understand.
I do.
Yes. So who would you say are your biggest humor influences?
George Carlin. I mean, some of the people that I've actually met and shared stages with. Bill Maher, of course. And a lot of the comics actually from the '80s comedy scene in San Francisco. That's where I had my comedy comeuppance.
Sure.
On the stage of the Holy City Zoo and the other cafe and all that then too. So Will Durst, who's still doing great political comedy.
Sure.
And Jay Johansson and some of these guys.
I can see Bill Maher being a fan of a number of your themes.
Yes.
So who would you say is your biggest musical comedy influence?
Oh, see, now you're honing it down, aren't you?
I'm dialing it in.
Okay. Yeah, well, there was a tradition here in America for a short while, like in the late '60s, early '70s, of people who did this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And like Ray Stevens, you remember Ray Stevens?
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, people ask me like who's doing like right-wing kind of satire these days.
Sure.
Ray Stevens is a guy who he's a big Tea Party guy. So if you look him up on YouTube, he's doing funny songs. They're funny songs, and they're good, quality songs and all that stuff, like original songs. I can always point to him as someone who's doing sort of anti-Obamacare. I mean, the arguments are fakakta, but the songs are good.
Right. And, for that matter, there was a great discussion the other day online where they were saying, well, the comedians only make fun of the right. It's like, well, that's because the right doesn't have any comedians unless you count Dennis Miller.
Yeah.
And I don't even think Dennis Miller counts Dennis Miller.
Well, Dennis Miller is a great example. I mean, I said we used to have a name for right-wing satire. We called it cruelty.
Yes.
It just goes that way because right-wing satirists make fun of the powerless.
Yes.
So how funny is that after a while? You may even laugh, right?
Yeah.
I remember Bobby Slayton. You know that name?
No.
Bobby Slayton is a comic from the San Francisco scene, and he's been in movies, and anyway, he's a famous guy, and in the comedy world. He used to do a bit about a lady firefighter. Lady fire. I don't want to. If I'm in a burning building, I don't want a dyke with Birkenstocks going, get up, get up, get up. That was his bit. So you laughed.
Yeah.
Now you feel like hell because you laughed, right?
I was really more laughing at the approach than the joke.
See, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the timing of it and the delivery of it and so forth then too. You can laugh at things that you disagree with.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you go away from that experience and you go like, well, I want to take a shower, you know.
Jimmy Carr is the master of that, where he'll tell a joke and he'll say, no, you can't go ha 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 and then ooh.
Yeah.
You got to do one or the other.
Right.
You can't be disgusted at me.
Right.
So, what do you see as the face of the presidential race at this point, now that essentially the nominations are done?
That's where we are. When does this podcast air?
This will actually come out next, a week from today.
Okay, good. So we're still current.
Yes.
I just think, you know, there's that roller coaster thing. When you get on a roller coaster, and, you know, as scary as it is, you always kind of, well, somebody designed this.
Sure.
And I'm going to be okay.
Sure.
You know, right, there's that. But a really good roller coaster will have that moment where you just lose your shit.
Right.
And you're not sure whether you're going to live or not, or die.
Right.
That's where we are in this race.
Okay, that's fair. Who are you glad is already out of the race?
Is already out of the race?
Yes.
I'm not glad, you know, but I think that they can all hang around as long as they want, you know.
Sure.
You know, and I'm sad that Bernie is out of the race.
I am as well.
You know, right? I think that
Bernie.
Bernie's done a fantastic thing for this country, and will continue to do that.
Yeah.
And so I'm sad that I guess that answers your question. I'm sad that he's out of the race.
Sure. I just figured you'd be so overjoyed that Ted is out of the race that it would kind of overshadow almost anything except Trump still being in it.
People say that it's you know, this should be easy now. Satire should be easy, and it writes itself. These are the people. This is what people say. You know, you've got too much material and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
You know? I'd rather have no material.
Right.
I'd rather have a nice world of peace and justice, and I'll just write, you know, funny love songs.
Right. I'll move on to something else. Well, you just want so and so elected because it'll make your job easier. At what price?
Yeah.
At what price?
You've got kids, you know. We want to build a better world. That's what we want to do.
Sure.
That's why I'm doing this then too. You know,
Sure.
is to lend my voice to that effort.
And have you already been thinking about themes for songs for after November?
Well, we have to see what happens, don't we?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I could write dirges.
Yeah.
Or I could write celebratory, like disco tunes or whatever. I don't know. Yeah.
I'd be there for both.
Okay.
So I noticed.
Would you be there for a celebratory disco dirge?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
All right.
So I noticed you have a problem with the scientists, and I've got my note right, of Croatia, that you just don't think that they're real scientists.
The Croatianists?
The Croatian scientists.
I see. Okay, I see what you're saying.
See, for those of you listening at home, I'm trying to be funny to someone funnier than me, and it didn't work.
I caught on to you.
Yeah.
Early there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was worth a shot.
Some of our wonderful scientists come from Croatia, I'll have you know. Deep offense at that.
Yes. The whole region is rich in many minerals as well.
Mm-hmm.
So earlier you'd mentioned the Beatles as an influence, so I had to bring up the question, Peacenik.
Yes.
What was going on there?
Who's that chubby old hippie stuck in your chimney? Sliding down in your fireplace, and now you see him knee-high. He's dropping out of the sky, dropping in just to lay it on you on a Christmas morning. Got a pipe in one hand and a peace sign in the other. Got a sack on his back full of toys, love and brother. A Volkswagen bus pulled by 8 tiny reindeer, a twinkle in his eye, and granola in his grin. Peace. is the answer. To the grown-up says, are you gonna give peace a chance or what? In a trance on a transcontinental transcendental trip, can you dig what a long strange trip it's been?
With the whole album or what?
Specifically that song.
Oh, that song.
Yes, the one that sounded
Yeah.
like a 67, 68
Yeah.
Beatles vintage.
Okay, good. Well, who's that chubby old hippie stuck in your chimney?
I don't know.
It's Peacenik. That's the whole idea. He's supposed to be a harbinger of peace and love in the era of peace, right? You know.
Right.
So it was just casting Santa Claus as the old hippie that he is.
Sure, I didn't mean.
He lives in Fairfax, California, by the way. I don't know if you knew that.
Did you know that?
No. Now that there's no North Pole anymore.
Right. It is
melted.
actually, yeah.
He's got a nice, like, a Victorian bungalow in Fairfax.
If he can afford all those toys, I think the mortgage should be reasonable. Yeah, it's just. The song was just so incredibly layered and rich, and
Thank you.
It's
not a song that most people pick out or whatever. I love that song.
It was, and you started talking about the lyrics. The lyrics are secondary.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
That's what I intended. Yeah.
So, if you could write a new 10 Commandments for the world to blindly follow, how rich would you be, and would you still be singing?
Oh, you really got to cash in on that?
Oh, I don't know. I'm asking.
There's a presumption in your question there.
Well, I mean, that's what the 10 Commandments has always been about.
About wealth?
Well, for the people who control the 10 Commandments, certainly.
Yeah. Well, there's a degree to which religion, organized religion anyway, has always been about crowd control. That's true.
Yes.
And
Yes.
right, and to that extent, I suppose that figures into to wealth collection too.
What's interesting to me about the 10 Commandments is not what's in it, but what's not in it.
What would you have? What would you put in there?
Rape.
Rape in there, yeah.
Child abuse.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to respect your parents, but.
Those are 2 chapters, I think, in the book of Samuel, rape and child abuse.
And then we've got like 2 or 3 commandments on coveting, depending on which book of the Bible you're looking at.
Right.
I mean, boy, and coveting.
Coveting.
That is something that is.
That's when you can start doing it, you don't even know you're doing it.
It's allowed, it's
Right.
encouraged.
Yeah.
So that's just crazy to me. So I guess in conclusion I would say, you travel a lot, you do long tours, it looks like you do it mostly by road, I'm sure you fly a bit. Any fun TSA stories?
TSA?
Because I give them hell as often as I can.
Yeah?
I mean, not in person, I just mean on the podcast.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Oh, yeah, I am not a fan.
Not a fan of the TSA?
No, but only in every respect.
I see.
So I'm.
There are certain exceptions, like none.
I would say that's a
Okay.
perfect example.
Okay, good. The guitar is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
They do look at the capo. Here.
Yeah.
Here.
So.
Okay, here. Hold on.
Sure.
Hold that for a second. They do look at. They look at this thing, right? Okay, that's the capo, right? And they don't know what it looks like a gun. It's shaped like a gun, and it's a squeezy kind of a device like that. And always there's one guy who goes like, oh no, that's cool.
Right.
One guitar player who goes like, oh, he's cool. That's all right. And then everything else, all my other stuff gets through right away.
Huh? I can't see that being gun shaped. But then again, you've seen. Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway.
But you've seen some of the other things they've confiscated.
Yeah.
So, and you've also.
And never seen them again. Yeah.
Well, this is so dangerous that what I need to do is put it right here next to me and leave it here for the remainder of the shift. Because it might be a bomb, and if it is.
Oh, see, this is one of your problems with them. that they do that. They take things away and they just stick them there for anybody to pick up and use.
Well, no, it's that the whole thing is just
Oh.
theater.
Ah.
Yeah, it's $1 trillion boondoggle.
Right.
And it does nothing.
Okay.
So that's just my, for those of you who have never heard me say that before.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
what it is.
Well, I'm trying to think of a melody for that right now.
You are welcome to it.
Okay.
You are welcome to it. All right, well, I'm going to thank Roy Zimmerman because he's got to get going on stage pretty quick here. And, I'll include some little snippets of songs here so you can enjoy them as much as I do.